Hi everybody, Charis here, and I'm up on the mountain. I hope you can see the beautiful view behind me. I'll show you when I'm done talking to you about what has happened. So you might notice that my energy is somewhat subdued versus what it usually is like when I record these videos, and it's because I've been working so hard over the last day or so. So what ended up happening was I kind of had this dual existence going, which I think I mentioned in another video that I was going to have to do. And it was because the people who I'm out here with are not really the same ones that I would necessarily voice this process to. And it's not because of any specific reason other than they're just not particularly into it, and I think that I would turn into Charlie Brown's teacher if I spoke about it all the time, you know, wah, 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 even though I am always working on it. So I finally finished, I think, about an hour ago while we were stopping to rest. And what ended up happening was I realized that this process was bringing full circle a process that started probably about 8 or 9 months ago, around the turn of the year, maybe January or so. I got this crazy all-night-long research obsession with the Titans, who I think were related to the Nephilim, who were, after they were defeated by the other types of people around, were banished to Tartarus. And Tartarus is a dimension, they say, that is halfway between Earth, this dimension that we are in right now, and Hell, the same way that, say, halfway between Earth and Heaven is where the faeries reside. But if the faeries reside halfway between Earth and Heaven, it could be that another breed of elementals, who were the Titans, reside halfway between here and Hell in Tartarus. So I only realized that after I was done, because the beings that I was helping to wake up and re-enliven and then connect with sky beings looked like they were made of rock. They looked like these great big giants actually made of rock. And I didn't necessarily expect them to look that way, and I knew there were a few that I had to wake up because a couple came to talk to me before I even came here. And then once I got here, I started working with them, and every time I would match one with one of the sky beings that was here to help them to get out of this place where they had been hibernating. It wasn't like they were stuck in jail. I mean, it kind of was. It was like after you go through a hibernation season, you're kind of just confused and sleepy and weird, and then you wake up again and realize that things are different. So there were these beings coming down from the sky, and I don't know that it was necessarily literally like this, but what it seemed to be was that the creatures buried deep under the mountains, and this did used to be a volcano, and so I do think that I found that out after I found out that they were hibernating / trapped under there, and I think that it's because something about when it used to be the volcano was part of what let them hibernate, made them hibernate. I really don't know. They didn't tell me the origin of it very much. So they seemed male, and then the beings that were coming down from the sky with their very different vibration, and their particular mission was to help these guys out, seemed female. Now, I don't know if that was literally true. I just know that that's what came through as I was working. So the males would kind of wake up, and they looked like rock, and then the ones that came down from the sky did not look like rock. They looked more like stars. It's hard to describe. They looked humanoid, which was probably just translating from my own brain, but the way that they were seemed very star-ish. Anyway, so after I finished, what I realized as I was working, let me back up a little bit, what I realized as I was working was that there wasn't just one or two. Every time I would free one or help one to free itself, there would be another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then I realized there was this whole long line of them that I was helping them one by one. So finally at the end, when we're nearing the end of our journey up here and we're kind of resting and everyone's kind of tired, I looked down and kind of went deep into a meditation, because I was doing all this as I was walking around and talking and interacting, listening to music, so my attention was divided. So finally at this time, I was sitting there laying back, hat over my face. The cat was sleeping on my chest because she won't let anyone carry her, so she's exhausted. She's walked as many miles just about as we have. And I saw that there was what seemed to be an opening, almost like sliding doors, but that were horizontal rather than upright. And so I brought them open, and then it was as if all these beings from the sky who were helping could come down, and all these beings locked down in Tartarus could come out, and then they were out. And then the spaces they were in needed a little bit of cleaning up and stuff as well. So now that they're gone, or possibly walking around or doing whatever they're allowed to do at this point because they've served their sentence, I suppose. You can't make this stuff up. I don't know why this is happening to me specifically. It was just some particular assignment that I got. Maybe it's not real at all. Maybe it just represents simply an aspect of my own consciousness that's getting released. There's no way to prove any of this stuff. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I do know that I'm obviously exhausted, a little bit scattered, and there's probably going to be some emotional backlash from doing this amount of work, because that's kind of how it goes. But we shall see what happens. I just wanted to tell you guys what happened, because it's kind of an interesting thing. It's one of those things that you're in it, and it's going on, and you're doing the best you can to hold space and to facilitate the way that you're learning in the moment. You can't really prepare for this kind of stuff because you don't know what's needed till you're in the middle of doing it. So I guess this goes with the video that I made before coming about whenever you're called to go to a space on the earth, then go, because it's not necessarily all for you, it's also for the earth. But now that, like I said, that they're free, I don't know what is going to happen with this land. I don't know what's going to happen with the energies here. I do think, however, that it's going to be cool and that good things are going to happen. So let me show y'all what I can see here. Look, check it out. I don't know what if this is only volcanic base. And there's Michael. Say hi, Michael. Or what is whatever else was here other than volcano. I can't really say. Those peaks right there, those remind me a lot of what the beings looked like that were buried under the earth. We're going to go back that way to leave. I hope you guys can perceive all these beautiful colors. It's really colorful up here. I'm always shocked when I come up into the Tetons, into the subalpine region, I think is what this is called, how many colors there are. Because it's all just grass and stuff. There are no flowers, but there are all these greens, reds, yellows, purples. Anyway, that's what I have for y'all today. That's the culmination of the trip. I hope I've done my job well enough. I'm exhausted, so I'm going to say that I have, and it seems like it's feeling complete. Anyway, go in peace. Have a wonderful rest of your September. It's going to be a very transitory month as far as I've heard and been told. So wishing you guys ease and grace on your own journeys and transitions. Much love. I'll talk to you again very soon.